Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 657, Preparing for IELTS. Intermediate. Poem. The books are open, a cup of tea, a list of words you can almost see, the knowledge growing day by day as you learn and practice in your own way. The listening practice, a story to hear, to get your ears ready and clear. A British voice, a calm, steady sound. The world of English is all around. It's not just words, but the way they connect, the tone and feeling you must detect. So listen closely to every phrase, and you'll improve in so many ways. A passage to read, a sentence to find, to understand what is in your mind. Skim for the topic, then scan for a name. It's like a puzzle, a clever game. The writing task, a paragraph to build, with good ideas carefully distilled. An essay to plan, an argument to write, to show your thoughts in a clear, bright light. Practice sentences, learn the perfect phrase, a good introduction in so many ways. A topic to talk about, a thought to share. Don't worry, just speak. It's a test, not a dare. The speaking part face to face. Speak clearly and at a steady pace. The key is to talk, not to sound like a book, but to share your ideas with an honest look. So talk about hobbies or places you've been, about things you have done or things you have seen. You can do it, don't have a doubt. Just get your ideas and let them all out. Slow and steady, a little each day, and your English will find its own way. The test day is coming, you've done your best. Just breathe and be calm, put your skills to the test. So go on, be brave, you're ready to try. You studied and worked, now give it a fly. Speaking for IELTS. The speaking part can feel intimidating, but it's really just a conversation. The key is to show you can speak naturally, not to give a memorized speech. Focus on these three things. Fluency. Don't worry about speaking too fast. It's better to speak at a steady, clear pace. If you need a moment to think, use filler phrases like, "That's a good question," or "Let me see." Vocabulary. Try to use a range of words and not just repeat the same ones. Instead of saying good over and over, you could use words like fantastic, enjoyable, or beneficial. Coherence. Make sure your ideas connect logically. Use linking words like because, so, and however to guide the listener through your thoughts. Writing for IELTS. The writing section is about planning and structure. The most important thing you can do is understand the question and organize your thoughts before you start writing. Task 1. This is usually about describing a graph, chart, or diagram. The most important thing is to identify the main trends and compare key data points. Start with an overview of what the graph shows, then move into the details. Task 2. This is an essay. Always start by planning your argument. A good essay has an introduction, body paragraphs with specific points and examples, and a conclusion. Make sure your introduction clearly states your opinion and that your conclusion summarizes your main points without introducing new ideas. Vocabulary notes. Distilled. To distill means to get the most important part or essence of something. In the poem, ideas carefully distilled means taking many ideas and choosing the best, most focused ones for the writing task. Example, with good ideas carefully distilled. Similar words, refined, condensed, purified. Passage, A passage is a short piece of writing or text, usually from a book, article, or other larger work. It's often used in the context of reading comprehension exercises. Example: a passage to read, a sentence to find. Similar words: excerpt, text, section. Phrase. A phrase is a small group of words that stand together as a single unit, but do not contain a subject and a verb. In English learning, we often study common phrases for everyday use. Example: practice sentences, learn the perfect phrase. Similar words: idiom, expression, saying. Coherence. Coherence refers to the quality of being logical, consistent, and easy to understand. In writing and speaking, it means that your ideas flow together smoothly. Example: you can do it. Don't have a doubt. Just get your ideas and let them all out. This relates to making your ideas coherent and well organized. Similar words: clarity, logic, unity. Steady. Steady means not changing or stopping. Regular and continuous. In the context of the poem, it refers to a calm and consistent pace. Example: slow and steady, a little each day. Similar words: consistent, regular, calm. Story written by Steve UK and Gemini AI. Image created by Steve UK and Gemini AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.
Hey there! So, you're getting ready for the IELTS exam? I know. It can feel like a huge mountain to climb. But here's the good news. The way to the top is all about taking practical, manageable steps. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this explainer. Walk that path together. Let's get started. I mean, how perfect is this? You can almost smell the tea, right? This really gets to the heart of what preparing for the IELTS is all about. It's not some boring chore of memorizing rules. Nope, it's your own personal journey. Think of us as your guide on that journey, here to help you turn all that quiet study time into some seriously confident results.
All right, first things first. Let's dive into the skills where you're taking information in. That's listening and reading. And here's the secret. It's not just about knowing the words on the page. It's about getting how they're being used.
And this right here, this is so important. The listening test isn't trying to trick you with big vocabulary. What it's really testing is whether you can pick up on the context, the emotion behind the words. You know, are the speakers on the same page? Does someone sound shocked? That's the good stuff, the detail that'll help you really nail it.
Okay, so how do you actually practice that? Well, here's a fantastic, super simple tip. You've got to surround yourself with the sound of the test. That means listening to British voices a lot. When you do that, you're not just practicing, you're basically training your ear. You get used to the accent, the rhythm, the speed, and believe me, when you're under pressure on test day, that makes a world of difference.
Now, let's switch over to reading. I want you to think about this differently. Don't look at a long text and feel overwhelmed. No way. Think of it like a puzzle, or even a clever game. The questions? Those are your clues. The text? That's where all the answers are hidden. Your mission is just to connect the dots as fast as you can. And every good game needs a strategy, right? Here's yours. Step 1, you skim. Just a quick glance over the title, the headings, maybe the first sentence of each paragraph. This gives you the big picture. Then, step 2, you scan. This is where you go on a treasure hunt. You're not reading everything, you're looking for specific keywords from the questions. A name, a date, a place. This skim and scan technique, it's a total game changer for saving time. So, that passage they talk about, that's just your puzzle board. And here's the most important rule of the game. Every single answer you need is right there in the text. You don't need to know anything else. The test is purely about how well you can find the info that's sitting right in front of you. Okay, so we've talked about taking information in. Now let's flip the script and talk about putting information out. It's time for the speaking section. And the number one thing to remember here is that they're not looking for a perfect, rehearsed speech. They want a real conversation. Your actual voice, how you really talk, that's your secret weapon.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The key is to just talk. The examiner wants to hear from you. They want to know how you share your ideas, your thoughts. It's not about sounding like a textbook. Being real, being authentic, that's what's going to impress them.
So to make sure you're communicating well, they look at three main things: fluency, vocabulary, and coherence. I like to think of it like building a pyramid. Fluency is the smooth base, vocabulary adds all the cool details and color, and coherence is the solid structure that holds it all together. Let's look at each piece. Okay, fluency. Big misconception here. It's not about talking super fast. It's about keeping a smooth, steady flow. So what happens if you get a question that stumps you? Don't just freeze up. Use a little filler phrase like, that's a good question. It sounds totally natural, it buys you time, and it gives your brain a second to catch up and come up with something brilliant. Next up, vocabulary. And listen, this doesn't mean you need to learn a bunch of crazy, obscure words. Not at all. It's about showing you have some variety. Think of it like a simple upgrade. Instead of just saying something was good over and over, could you say it was fantastic, or really enjoyable, or maybe even beneficial? Small changes like that make a huge impact. And finally, coherence. This is the glue that holds everything together. The absolute best way to show coherence is to use linking words. Think of them like signposts on a road. Words like however, or for example, or in addition, they do more than just connect sentences. They show the examiner exactly where your thoughts are going. It makes your logic crystal clear. All right, on to our last skill, writing. Now, if speaking is all about having a natural, flowing conversation, writing is the total opposite. It's all about careful, deliberate structure. And in the writing section, your absolute best friend is a plan. I love this idea of distilling your ideas. It's a great way to think about it. Before you even think about writing a full sentence, you need to take all those thoughts swirling around in your head and boil them down to just the strongest, clearest, most powerful points you want to make. So, how do you actually do that when the clock is ticking? Simple. Spend the first 2 minutes, just 2, scribbling down any keywords and ideas that pop into your head. Then, look at your list, circle the 2 best ones, and build your entire essay around just those 2 points. That's it. This focus on quality over quantity is exactly what gets you those high scores. Now, it's super important to know that the writing section has 2 totally different tasks, and you need to wear 2 different hats. For task 1, you're a reporter. Your job is to look at a graph or a chart and just describe what you see. No opinions, just the facts, the main trends, the biggest changes. But for task 2, you switch hats. Now you're a debater. You need to build a strong argument with a clear intro, body paragraphs, and a powerful conclusion. Just knowing which hat to wear is half the battle. Seriously. Okay, let's take a breath. You've trained your ear for listening, you've got your puzzle-solving strategy for reading, you've found your authentic voice for speaking, and you know how to build a rock-solid argument in writing. You've done the work. So what about the big day itself?
This last part, it's all in your head. It's about mindset. All the hard work, it's done. The knowledge, the skills, they're already there. The final piece of the puzzle is just trusting yourself, trusting your preparation, and walking into that test room feeling confident and ready.
And please, remember this. You don't ace the IELTS by pulling some crazy all-nighter. That's not how it works. Success comes from the small things you do every single day. That slow and steady method, it builds real, lasting skill. Every single quiz, every practice session, every little bit of listening you did, it all adds up, and it's what got you to this point.
And this is the perfect send-off.
Seriously, you've put in the hours, you know the strategies, you are so ready for this. Now it's just time to go in there and show them what you've got.
So, I'll leave you with a question to get you started right now. What's the very first step you're going to take today? Maybe it's listening to a podcast or practicing one of those filler phrases. Whatever it is, that's where your journey to success really begins. You've got this. Good luck.